What's going on, everyone? It's Adam here. We got a bunch of baseball moves. We got a lot to talk about, and I don't have a lot of time, but let's just get right into it. First of all, we're going to start out with the big one, the one I've been begging for the longest time. Nelson Cruz is returning to the Twins. I was worried about him signing somewhere else, but he's back with the Twins, 1 year, $13 million. They also did sign Alex Colomé today. So with him and Rogers in the bullpen, they're going to look to have a very nice bullpen. And now all of a sudden, in just one day, that's all it takes. This team is a serious threat to retake that Central Division. I'm going to compare the two teams at some point in the future, just not today. But, however, these are two seriously good teams now in the NL Central. Twins have made a major progress in improving their team. And I'm so happy for them, quite frankly. They desperately need a playoff win, quite frankly. They desperately just need one. And they just, listen, hopefully 1 year they can go without playing the Yankees getting destroyed by them. But listen, for now they're doing what they have to. They're making the good two moves. Cruz have been pushing for a long time. We'll have to see if they do anything next. I still would like them to bring in some more starting pitching. I just kind of doubt it at this point. So, now what? So, now let's talk about Marcell Ozuna and what happens with his market now. Because now, okay, what is the market really? We see Cruz get a 1 year, $13 million when he wanted 2 years, but that's just not available. He has to settle for one. So what does that mean with Ozuna? Well, we haven't heard a lot of teams interested. I believe the top three are the Red Sox, Rays, and the Braves. And the Braves, who knows if there's going to be a DH or not, so who knows if they really do want to bring him in. And then I'm sure the Dodgers could be interested if they do find out DH is going to be a thing. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. I would really like the Braves to bring him in, the Rays to bring him in. I'm going to talk more about the Rays later, but I would love to see them in. They really need a boost, especially if they can get him on a 1 year deal. They kind of need to do it. But, yeah, listen. We're at the point, we're going to take a minute to talk about the Rays and what, if they've done enough. Because, frankly, they're a team that I typically say, listen, they're going to make the right moves. It's just we're not going to see them. And that very well could be true. We saw how good the pitching staff was top to bottom last year. The problem now is you lose two of your top guys. And your top guy is Glass now, who I really like, but it's just not that good just yet. I mean, he had a 4 ERA last year, was obviously a good pitcher. In the playoffs, he just wasn't as good as I hoped. Now, he's only going to be 27 next year. And we got to remember, he's a year removed from a 1.78 in 2019, but it was injury shortened. Listen, if they lose him to injury, what are they going to do with their rotation? Because who really even knows what it is at this point? So, yeah, I mean, and also their offense was the reason they really couldn't do much against the Dodgers. So bringing in the guy, they basically are bringing back all the same names, I believe, but bringing in Ozuna to be next to Randy in the lineup would just be absolutely massive for them, in my opinion. Just something that they really need to try and do, and if not, upgrade somewhere else and see what they can do. Like I say, I always believe the Rays are going to make the right moves. It's just we don't see them. I hope that's the case again this year. So yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, I'm very happy to see Cruz back with the Twins. I just think that's a really good move for them. I'm glad they finally got it done. Now we're going to talk about what the Phillies have done. So Phillies, today they signed Chris Anderson, someone who's coming off a very bad season. I'm sorry, not Chris. Chase Anderson. Someone who's coming off just a terrible season, but has been very good in the past, and I think he's going to be a great bounce-back candidate this year. Put together some really good years for the Brewers, including his 2.74 in 2019 with a 12-4 record. He's not a guy who's going to get a lot of innings. The most he's ever had is 160, but if the Phillies can just chalk him in for 140-ish innings, I think they're going to take that all day. Career 4 ERA, I think they would take that all day. They also brought in Hector Rondon to add to their bullpen. That was just terrible last year. Side note, Henry signed a minor league deal with the Indians. Kind of surprised he only got a minor league deal. I know he was pretty bad in the second half of last season, but he's a guy who has been really good with the Red Sox, so I'm kind of surprised he settled for a minor league deal, but I guess that's just the market right now. So Hector Rondon, pretty bad last year, but every other year of his career has been really good. So Phillies, have they done enough now? Well, I think they've made the moves they kind of need to. They brought back Realmuto. The offense really isn't going to be the problem next year. It's going to be about the pitching, mainly the bullpen. And now they brought in 3 guys. They brought in Bradley, they brought in Rondon, and so on. And listen, and even the rotation is, they have some depth there now. So while this might not be a surefire good pen in any stretch of the imagination, I certainly think this is a bullpen. I mean, it would be hard for the bullpen to be worse, quite frankly. And listen, they put themselves in the moves, and honestly, they put themselves in the position to have an improved bullpen in the second half of last season. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that's just what happened there. So, yeah, I mean, it was a shame when that happened, but listen, you can't control every bit of it. So, other guys they've signed, Matt Moore, obviously, Hector Rondon, JT, Ivan Nova. I mean, they're adding guys that they kind of need to. Archie Bradley. I believe there's one more. Oh, and they traded for Jose Alvarado. So listen, these are good pitchers, and it's going to put them in the position to have a good staff altogether this year. It's just a matter of these guys not collapsing like some of them did last year, and just putting a half-decent bullpen together should be enough, and hopefully they'll do something again at the trade deadline if they're in the mix, which I expect them to somewhat be, maybe especially with the expanded playoffs. We're just going to talk about, so in that sense, yeah, I think the Phillies have done enough. Maybe they make another depth signing like Juan Gonzalez or Mitch Moreland, because Reese will probably miss the start of the season with Tommy John. But for now, I mean, it's tough to say they've made many mistakes with this move. Let's just get on to everything else, the moves they made. Something that shocked me is Alex Colomé only signed for $6 million. Honestly, a lot of teams should have been in on that and tried to get him for that. Red Sox, I would say. Now, I understand they traded for Ottavino, and that was $8 million and a prospect, so it's not like I say they should get him over him, but for only $6 million, that is a great deal for Colomé. Phillies could have been in front of him. Any team really should have been in on him. I'm kind of shocked he got so little. What a great move for the Twins. Let's just get on the rest of the news quickly. King Felix, he has signed with the Orioles, so that really just broke, and that's really interesting. I can't wait to see him back out there. As you all know, a Braves legend. No, but for real, one of the great pitchers ever when he was with the Mariners. They just depend on him so much and couldn't get him to the playoffs. I'm really hoping he puts together a season that shows he can still play, and he gets to sign with a contending team the next season, or is traded to one at the deadline. A few other good small moves. Gerardo Parra back with the Nationals. Sean Doolittle signs with the Reds. A little bit, but too little, too late if you're the Reds, quite frankly, because I don't think they can really catch up to the NL Central leading Cardinals right now. Also worth note, the Brewers did sign Colton Wong from the Cardinals today. 2-year deal with an option for a third year. As fun as it would have been to see Nolan and Colton Wong in the same infield, which would have been a great starting infield, Tommy Edmonds is kind of a similar player who I think brings a little more offensively, but a little less defensively. So if you kind of have him already, I don't really see the point in giving Wong that deal. So I understand that for them. Liriano signs with the Blue Jays. I still think, listen, keep on bringing in some pitchers if you're the Blue Jays. This is another good addition for them. So yeah, those are all the moves. All the notable moves the last couple of days. A lot has happened. And looks like the market is really hot right now, and hopefully it continues to stay that way. I'm hoping Marcel signs soon. And man, we have not heard anything about Bauer or Turner. Maybe we'll hear something soon.